Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Rando Geek. AT&T has a wish list, apparently. Two things on it is, one, they're hoping for more spectrum and fewer state rate laws. The link for this article will be provided for you down below in the description. So if you don't already know this, the news is breaking. AT&T has pulled its fixed wireless offering from New York State. This started on Wednesday, and it is over the Affordable Broadband Act that New York State has placed in law, forcing wireless and internet service providers to offer affordable wireless service in the ranges of $15 and $20. AT&T feels they cannot afford to do business in the state of New York, especially when it's a very competitive market against Spectrum and Fios and some other internet service provider companies. We do have T-Mobile home internet as well in some locations. So it's a competitive market for internet service. AT&T feels it would be impossible to operate their business in the state of New York, whether it's New York City or just the state of New York in general, by offering such discounted prices. All right, so they're pulling the plug on their service. Now, what they're afraid of is that if legal action is not taken against the state of New York, if there's no intervention here, if justices do not get involved, AT&T is afraid that many state legislators and bureaucrats are going to follow. They're going to follow, and they're going to probably mandate the same type of rule for other states, which AT&T has a very large presence in. AT&T is not big in the state of New York. They don't have fiber, and they just kind of started rolling out their fixed wireless access. So it's not really that big here. So that's why they don't really care if they lose, if they leave. There's not much to lose is what I'm saying. But in other states, very rural areas where there's no opportunity for customers to get fiber, their fixed wireless access has been a lifesaver for many of them, many of these customers, and it's been surely profitable for AT&T. So this is the concern here. If this broadband law is adapted by other states, companies like AT&T are going to take massive hits. And I did a big video about it regarding, what's happening behind the scenes and what I think can happen. And surely AT&T is showing that same concern. All right, so that's what's going on there. All right, and then we also have AT&T wants to buy more spectrum. And as we know, the FCC lost their licensing to sell spectrum back in 2023. And really the only kind of availability they've had to continue to sell some spectrum was to Dish. That was it. And Dish will now be auctioning off some of their 2800 megahertz spectrum, which can become available for service providers once the FCC is able to start re-auctioning the spectrum. But they're still waiting for that. So that's going to take some time for that. All right, so with that being said, AT&T is looking to basically get their hands on more of this spectrum so that they can expand their broadband infrastructure, right? And many internet service providers want to get their hands on more spectrum because they're saying that private sectors cannot acquire the spectrum it needs in the U.S. until Congress reauthorizes the FCC to conduct auctions and the government allocates for more full power mid-band spectrum for licensed commercial use. This is according to AT&T's Executive Vice President of Federal Regulatory Relations, Rhonda Johnson. She says, without auctions and a pipeline, the American people get left behind and American leaders get left with no leverage to negotiate internationally. So they want more spectrum. The FCC is not in a position to conduct auctions currently. And they want to expand. Fiber and home internet is their bread and butter now. Wireless comes secondary. I've said that before. They still care about it, but not surely enough because their money has been with their internet services. That's their main focus. And it is happening for a lot of these carriers, right? We're seeing T-Mobile is a little bit more focused on it now. We're also seeing Verizon is heavily focused on home internet because there's a lot of areas where they're not able to build out fiber for whatever reason. Sometimes it's like a city issue. The towns in itself cause problems for carriers to come out and build towers. They don't want them. Sometimes they'll just make silly excuses like they're ugly or unattractive and they don't want this in their type of area. But then they'll cry when they don't have service. This is where something like home internet can be very useful. Also, it is very expensive to build out in certain locations, especially small towns. Companies like AT&T may not feel it's really worth it for a town of say 200 people. I mean, I think that they should still do it. I think that it's appropriate to finish out the build outs. Obviously, I'm sure those gaps will get filled, but it'll be later down the road when everybody else gets their turn. So in replace of it, they have options like fixed wireless access where someone can just order one of those and get connected and usually be all right. Get enough service, get enough speed to complete their daily tasks and maybe a little work if they work from home or whatever it is. But they won't be getting, that data hungry service that everyone else is getting because those towers are just not available. So this is our update here regarding AT&T. As usual, they want, but they don't really want to compromise enough. That's the thing with this company. They're too demanding, in my opinion. And I think that that's just kind of the way the company's being run. There's a big arrogance behind it. And they're very disorganized right now. They're very confused. And, I've said this before. It's probably time for some restructuring. Remember, a company is just a company. It's the people that are running it that are messing it up. Yeah, that's how it is. The people in charge pushing the pens are the ones that need to be examined and looked at so that things can get done appropriately. But nonetheless, more spectrum is needed for many carriers and service providers. The FCC not able to do so right now. So yeah, it's going to put a stall on some of these build outs for sure. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.